So as he sent me this, I had one dream for these talent trees, and that is that they were not filled of 1% or 2% more in terms of stuff. I haven't looked at them yet, as he sent me this morning. Slice will have to wait. I'm having a pee. I'm washing my hands because they smell of sausages. Then we're going to find out the truth. Talent system. Okay, so as far as I know, when you choose a spec like Blood or Frost or Unholy on a DK, you will be granted. You'll be granted some of these as required ones, or it will tie you into picking them all up or something like that. So, if I choose a tank, I learn Heart Strike, okay. Instantly strike the target, so it's physical damage and the nearby enemy, so it still cleaves, good shit. Then you get Mara Rend for some defensives. Blood Boil, obviously. Foul Bulwark. Yeah. Bone Shield increases your haste by 5 and 10%. Okay, that's fine. That's a good chunk. Heart Strike damage is increased by 10, 20, 30. So that's what I didn't want to see. It's just damage upgrades. Okay, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Let's see where it leads. But yeah, I did not want to see talents like that. Crimson Scourge you'd obviously take for procs. Increase the charges by 1. Okay. Blood Fortification. Stamina increased by 10, 20, 30%. Damage taken reduced by 10%. Okay. Rune Tap is a talent. Okay. Death Caress. Okay, that's fine. Oh, yeah. So you can go either way to get Vamp Blood. So you don't have to take the damage if you don't want to. But you can get Vampiric Blood going that way. but you'd lose out on Leeching Strike. Heart Strike heals you for 0.5% health for each enemy hit while afflicted by Blood Plague. Okay, so not a great amount. Increased armor gain from both. Ah, Blizz! Come on, man! I have at least fighting. Ossuary is there. Okay, for more running power. Yeah. Okay, so for that I need to take Blood Tap, which I would anyway. And then you get to choose one. You can have Blood Drinker or Consumption. Okay. Strikes all enemies in front of you with a Hungering Cold. I won't put heal on anyone else. Yeah, he just heals you still. Okay. Or Blood Drinker, so... Based on science, it's probably Blood Drinker. Then you get Ossuary from there. Improve Vampiric Blood. So, okay, so you can go... If you, what's improved? Increase all... I mean, you want that. Okay. So you get Mark of Blood or Tombstone. No, you take Mark. Yeah, duration and healing. Yeah, you need that. Bloodworms and Voracious are over here. Okay. Yeah, so Voracious, unless the numbers on these change. What's Hasty Bargain? When Crimson Scourge activates, you gain haste. Ugh. Okay. Relish in Blood. While Crimson Scourge is active, your next Death and Decay heals you for a small amount of health per Bone Shield charge, and you immediately gain 10 runic power. Okay. Yeah, so obviously more Death Strikes. Hemostasis. Each enemy hit by Blood Boil increases the damage and healing done by your next Death Strike. 8%, stacking up to 5 times. Yeah, that's a good talent. Like it. So Dancing Rune Weapon is here, but you don't have to get Dancing Rune Weapon, interestingly enough. You don't have to get Gorfine's Grasp either. Huh. What do you miss out on? So if you want Bone Storm, you have to come down here. Gorfine's Grasp is a must in a lot of occasions. But importantly, not all. It's not a must in all scenarios. It depends what you can't get without taking it. So you can't get Unquenchable Thirst. While Vamp is active, store a portion of Death Strike healing. When Vamp expires, splatter nearby into 100% of stored healing as shadow damage. So that you can live without that. However, Red Thirst is really good. Especially in a lot of scenarios. So this is where the talent system could come in really, really well. Because you can now pick and choose. Do I need my Vamp Blood to cool down to meet certain criteria of the boss encounter? So that's, like, Red Thirst is a good general talent, as is Gorfine's Grasp. Enemies hit by Gorfine's Grasp take 10% increased damage from you for 15 seconds. Additionally, reduces the cooldown of Gorfine's Grasp by 30 seconds to rank. Okay. And that has Purgatory behind it. Huh. Well, you don't always want Purgatory, but it's good for prog. Crimson Rune Weapon. Known generates 5 Bone Shield charges whenever a charge of Bone Shield is consumed. The cooldown... Ooh. This is tricky. This is good. This is really good. This is designing on a fight-by-fight basis. This is good. This is good. But sometimes you're going to want a lower cooldown Vamp. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're going to be more focused on AoE damage and stuff. So for like a Mythic Plus build... Ooh. There's some tough choices here, especially if you want to pick something up in a different tree. There's nothing new, but it does allow for some flexibility to make your character stronger on an encounter-by-encounter basis. And that is what I like about it. It's not much different than the normal talent trees, though. That I'll grant you. Because we're basing our choices off basically what would be in the normal talent bands. In a lot of ways. It is, yeah, but it's longer. True. True. I haven't seen a blood talent tree in a while. Blood EK talent tree. Shadowlands. So let's start the Shadowlands one. So All this. What the fuck is this? Why is there just a big picture of... Ah, there we go. McAfee subscription has ended? What the fuck? Go away. What is this website? Okay. So... Yeah, many ads at dotesports.com. Where's Death Pact? Ah, it's over here. Okay. Wraithwalk's over there as well. Okay. So far, we have been able to get... Have we been able to get something that isn't already in there? Like as a double. So our first choice was whether we wanted Blood Drinker or not, but it's on the same row here. So our choices were Blood Drinker or Consumption. So they've moved the rows around. Because Heartbreaker comes up here now, doesn't it? Yeah, Heartbreaker's now there. Okay. Tombstone was over here now. Yeah, Tombstone's there. So you can... I only have one talent point available. Is that all I have left? If I was capped, I could only pick one more talent. I have none left. Is that it? Okay. Oof. Yeah, but I feel like I'm now going to miss out on a number of spells, unless I'm mistaken here, that I would ordinarily have. Like, Death's Caress you can certainly live without. But you would want Rune Tap. Rune Tap's really good. So you drop a talent from, say, Improved Blood Boil. You don't take Voracious? You could probably... Do you not take Ossuary? Skipping out an Improved Vamp feels really bad. Okay, so you can drop Hemostasis. Ugh. Uses 6% haste. Right, that leaves me with 8 points. So, I mean, Dancing Rune Weapon. Don't I just have less stuff with this talent tree? Am I wrong? So I won't have Gorfien's Grasp if I play defensively, unless I have to go over to Red Thirst. Dancing Rune Weapon's now a talent, which used to be... What's on here that used to just be baked into the character? Dancing Rune Weapon, Gorfien's Grasp. What else? Yeah, Blood Boil, Heart Strike, Marrow Rend, Crimson Scourge was not a talent, so that's 6 things. Crimson Scourge was just something you got, as you did with Improved Heart Strike as well, because Heartbreaker's a talent. The talents of the last row, they're the same as what they are in the main game. Yeah, you pick up some stuff over here, but that's not Blood Death Knight specific things. Blood Death Knight specific things are all in here. Okay, so you have to take Death Strike. That's a mandatory point. If you choose Blood, you have to take Death Strike, which means you don't have Raised Dead anymore unless you talent it. Chains of Ice is now a talent as well. What's the Icebound? Icebound's a talent. Fuck. Interrupt's a talent. Ah, and Anti-Magic Shell. Ooh, I mean, you're not going to go without AMS. I mean, you can. There are certain fights that don't call for AMS. Like, for sure. There are definitely fights that don't call for AMS. I can't see you not taking Icebound, though. What's this? Leech. Okay. You don't necessarily need chains, so you could pick up the Leech, pick up Interrupt. Oh, can you not go backwards? Oh, no way. So you have to pick up chains to get Interrupt. So you have to get chains to get Interrupt to get Icebound. Okay. Runic Corruption's down here. Cooldown of AMS is here. I mean, these are a first rough draft. I don't know, man. It feels like you're just getting less. But, hang on, I haven't finished this out. So if I wanted to get... Okay, I can say I don't want Gorfine's Grasp. Let's make a Mythic Plus build. I think that makes sense. Like, let's give it a goal. This talent tree doesn't have a goal right now. Let's give it a goal. So yeah, what do I want? I want Blood Boil. I want Mararend. We want that. I imagine we do want Improved Blood Boil. What would we take? I kind of think you'd go Red Thirst, certainly for early days, over Bone Storm. Which means you definitely want to come over to Gorfine's Grasp. So maybe you're not taking Blood Drinker. Are you not taking Improved Vamp? Can't go backwards. Fucker. I can't come... I can pick up Tightening Grip, but I can't pick up... I can talent into improving Gorfine's Grasp without getting Gorfine's Grasp. What? I mean, Hemostasis would want for Mythic Plus as well. I don't really want Mark of Blood. I do want to improve Vamp. I guess I have to drop these. And go this way. Get Gorfine's Grasp. I don't particularly want Purgatory. But I can get Dancing Rune Weapon, and I can get Red Thirst from here. Don't really care about Unquenchable Thirst. Okay, that leaves me with 6 points. Okay. I think I want Blood Drinker. That gives me Ossuary. What have I got left? 4? Can't reach Bone Storm. I think you take Crimson Rune Weapon. This is tough. Yeah, I could get to Bone Storm, but you're dropping Crimson Rune Weapon to do that. That does AoE damage, and then you get Bone Storm that way. Something like that? So what am I missing out on there? Mark of Blood and Tombstones, whatever. Missing out on Heart Strike heal. Deathcrest, don't care. We still have Voracious. We do have Voracious. It's not too bad. We don't have improved grip, which kind of sucks. Just wait for the guide. I mean, we make the guides. I used to. Not for a long time, actually, with Blood DK, that's for sure. We have Vamp. We don't have improved Vamp, and that sucks. But you kind of have to go through this shithole to get it. I think it would look something like this for a Mythic Plus build. But if you were doing a prog build, you would drop all this. You would drop that. You would drop Gorfiends. You would want Purgatory. Now, if this talent tree, I assume this talent tree won't stay the same because it's got some obvious errors in it, but you would have to take Tightening Grasp even though you wouldn't have Gorfiend's Grasp, and then go into Purgatory and get Everlasting Bond. And Crimson Rune Weapon. You would want to come down here. That leaves you with 3 points. So you can pick up Purgatory that way. Let's go over to this side. So if I was doing a prog build, very roughly, it's not min-maxed or anything, but it would look something like this. So, yeah, because this is about... What do we lose here? We lose Heart Strike damage, but we get Blood Drinker. Cheaper Death Strikes. Get Vamp. We don't have improved Vamp. That's kind of yikes. Do we drop Rune Tap? Oh, we drop improved Blood Boil for sure. Don't care about that. Do you need both points to... Okay, you do need both points to move forward in the tree. Okay. Let's see. I could do with... I could do with 2 more points here. Maybe you drop Blood Drinker. No ossuary. I think that's where you get the extra 2 points from. You get improved Vamp. You don't want to drop Blood Tap. You don't want to drop 10% armor. You want Voracious. Death Strike's healing is increased by 20% and grants you 15% leech. Like, Voracious is just really good. Drop a point in Crimson. I can't drop Crimson Scourge without losing Blood Fortification, which is 30% stamina and 10% damage reduction. Crimson Scourge is giving you 6% haste as well. Like, 6% haste is good. Certainly as your gear gets better. I mean, you can eventually maybe even out-gear this, but, I mean, on a Blood DK, haste is really good. At least traditionally it is. Like, haste is very, very good. I think you drop Blood Drinker and Ossuary. Yeah, it has the Crimson icon, but, I mean, anybody who's played a Blood DK will know 6% haste is really good. Alright, so I guess I would go something like this to get in, and probably have to pick up Mark of Blood and go improve Vamp. Yeah, I'll look at Unholy next. This is interesting. It makes the game... These are interesting choices. Well, you wouldn't take Bone Storm for, like... If you're fighting the Jailer. Like, this is like something... I'm thinking about something like the Jailer. Okay, so if I'm fighting something like the Jailer, I want Icebound Fortitude. I mean, you have to get AMS. It's just the way it comes down. So where would you go from here? You would want Wraithwalk, right? Because you'd need to either get Gateways or you need someone else. Death Pact. What's down here? Runic Corruption and Runic Empowerment. Grip of the Dead and Death's Reach, so don't care about that. Asphyxiate's over here. Death's Advance is over. Oh, you don't have Death's Advance either? You have no movement speed at all. Oof. Cheaper Death Strike is right down here. Okay, so let's work with this. So you want Veteran. We'll skip Wraithwalk for now. We'll get AMZ. Oh, I need more points to spend. Okay, so what do we get? Blinding Sleet, don't care. Permafrost. Probably Death Pact. Alright, so we get AMZ. We'll pick up Death's Advance. Assimilation. The amount absorbed by AMZ is increased by 10% and grabs up to 100 runic power based on the amount absorbed. Okay. We'll get a anti-magic barrier. Reduce the cooldown of AMS. Yeah, it's fine. We need to spend another 9 points. Okay, so we do get to pick up a lot in here. So let's get Wraithwalk as well. For now. Heart Strike hits additional enemies. Brittle is over here. Might of Thoracian is over here as well. 4% more strength. You get Death Strike. If you choose Blood, you automatically pick up Death Strike in this tree. But after that, you can choose where you want to go. Oh, God. A 1 minute cooldown on Icebound is over here next to this. Okay. Okay, so we'll get improved crit. Gross. Yeah, we'll get Runic Empowerment and Runic Corruption. Okay, so we get Ice Acclamation over there. We need 3 more points. I don't want to asphyxiate for boss fights. Assimilation. Lichborn's over here, though. We can't reach it. Oh, Control Undead's now a talent as well. I assume for raid prog, it's assimilation. Okay. We need to spend 2 more points over here. I don't know where we go. Sacrificial Pact, but wait, do we have? We don't have the ghoul. So this is a dead talent, right? I hope they block, if they keep talents like this, I hope they block them off. Because you have no ghoul to sacrifice. Unless... Oh, no, we can. Okay, so I can pick up the ghoul here. And I can pick up Sacrificial Pact. I could do that. Okay, that works. Okie dokie. So... Death Strat cost is reduced by 10 and its healing is increased by 10 more percent for Blood Spec, 60% for Frost and Holy. Okay. Horn of Winter is over here. Oh. And Power Rune Weapon is down here. Ah, there's Abomination's Limb. Oh, Soul Reaper's over here, though. How many points we got left? 11. Okay, so improved Death Strike is a yes. Will of the Necropolis, yes. When you fall below 30% health, you drain health from nearby enemies. It can only occur 1 every 3 minutes. Kind of yikes. Oh god, we can't get over here. Death's Echo, don't really care. Strength increase, don't really care. No, you can't backtrack, Mike, so I can't pick up Lichborn. No. You have to keep going down. If you want the previous talent, you have to come from the rear. Well, it's definitely making me want things I can't have, which is the job of a talent tree. It's definitely doing that. So, I mean, by de facto... Okay, what are we doing here? We've got 7 points, and I'm building a build here for a big boss. I think I want Empower Rune Weapon then. So, Icy Talons into Empower Rune Weapon. Horn of Winter. At least we were 2. So, Abomination's Limb. Also attacks of a Gents... I mean, oh, yeah. Runic Attenuation. That leaves me with 0. Okay, so probably something like that for a straight-up boss fight. I could drop Abomination's Limb out of this. There's going to be a lot of different builds, which is exactly what the point is. So my question then is, and I haven't got the fucking... I'm not as up-to-date, because I need to see a character. What am I missing from here that I would just have naturally in the Shadowlands? So, Asphyxiate would be gone. That improved Chains of Ice. But now I have a Blood DK that has Icy Talons with it. No, I've got Interrupts. I've got Interrupts. I've got it. This is a very rough draft of the talents. Very rough draft. Yeah, there's improved Interrupts down here. So you got Anticipation down here, which grants runic power. Obviously, for a big boss fight, you're probably not taking that. Lichborn, I'm missing. Control Undead, I'm missing. They're not talents, are they? No, they're not. It's kind of like you're gaining a few extra things, though. That's the thing. You are getting some little extras that you wouldn't have had. Like, the only endpoint talent I've actually picked up here is Purgatory, because I've got Everlasting Bond, because Dancing Rune Weapon's over there. And I've picked up Abomination's Limb, and I have Empower Rune Weapon, which I think comes as standard for Blood. Am I wrong on that? Did they make it... Frost got that one over time. I think Blood DKs does not naturally get Empower Rune Weapon. Memory serves. Frost gets the one over time. Oh no, this is the one over time. Yeah, it is. Bloodworms is in the tree. Yeah, Bloodworms is over here. So you either get Voracious or Bloodworms, which is the same as here. Death Pact is over here now. Okay. Interesting. Let me have a quick look at Druid. Let me go balance. Okay, so if we go balance, you get Starfire and Star Surge as required. Okay, so what don't we have? Heart of the Wild. Nature's Vigil's over here. New Moon and Fury. Alright, let's work through this. So, Eclipse, obviously. We want Eclipse. Moonfire, Sunfire, duration is increased by 3 to 6 seconds. So, Warrior of Elune is over here now. Eclipse now reduces the cast time of reflective spells by 15%. Yeah. So then we get Trees or Nature's Balance. Oh, but CA is over there. So what you could... Ooh. What? Where's Incarn? It's down here. Oh, you have to choose between Incarn or Convoke. Okay. So I'm assuming then you do not need to pick up Celestial Alignment here to have the power of Incarn. So if you're going Incarn, you may probably skip this side of the tree. Although Shooting Stars is over here. As is Star-Lord. But, interesting. If you have... I wonder then, if you get something like Precise Alignment. What does it say here? So, Celestial Alignment lasts for 20 seconds. That gives you 25 seconds, but is Incarn 30 still? It is. Okay, so that's 30. So that probably doesn't benefit you to picking up Incarnation at all. Okay. Alright, so we want Nature's Balance. Trees is good. Generates 20 astral power. Starfall. Improved Mookin Form. While your Mookin Form single target attacks against you, have 50% chance to make your next Starfire instant. Depends on the fight, which is a good idea for a talent tree. CA, I kind of want to dodge CA, but Shooting Stars, Star-Lord is good. We need to spend 4 more points. God, improved Star Surge is locked behind Starfall. But then leads to improved Starfall. So you could technically do without that. I think we're going this way, and we're getting...
Hi, Preach and Chat.
Hey, man, how's it going? Trees or Warrior of Elune? What's this build for? Let's build a... Are we going to be getting Incarnation? No, we're going to get Convoke the Spirits, so we'll go CA. Okie dokie. Let's do that. Means I can probably drop this, actually. We're going for a boss fight. Dot extensions, usually good. Maybe not, though. If we're going for a boss fight, I'm thinking again like the Jailer. There's no way we on that fight. It depends if they... Where's Stellar Drift? Is this Stellar Drift? It is. Okay. See, that's where it comes into a different kettle of fish, right? How much movement are we doing? Like, Stellar Drift is just a straight DPS upgrade if there's a lot of movement going. But you do have to pick up and improve Starfall. Alright, so if it's the Jailer, I'm going this way. So I'm maybe dropping CA. Yeah. I'm also taking a lot of AoE damage, in which case... it's single target attacks. Do you get single targeted attacks on the Jailer? Not sure. In which case, we'll get trees to throw down while we're moving, improve Star Surge, improve Starfall, and Stellar Drift, which then gives us Blessing of Elune, and Blessing of Anshay. Anshay. Oh, I haven't spent enough points. I need to spend 8 more points. Okay. So I probably want Shooting... Oh, I can't get Shooting Stars. Fuck! So we drop trees... I don't have Solar Beam. That's a bummer. Power of Godrin. Star Surge has a chance to summon the Spirit of Goldrin, which immediately deals arcane damage to the target 2-rank talent. That'll depend on balancing. Eclipse's damage bonus to Wrath and Starfire is 10 to 20 to 30% stronger. Star Inspiration. Star Surge and Starfall have a 10, 15 to 20% chance to empower Eclipse or extend Moonfire and Sunfire by double the amount. Fuck me. What do I want out the bottom? That's the question. Adaptive Swarm? No thanks. Magic Eclipse increases your crit chance with Arcane Nature by 24%. Every 400 astral power spent grants CA for 12 seconds. Sizgi. So that's now blasts all targets between you and the selected area for astral damage and applies Moonfire and Sunfire to them. Right, we're getting... okay, we'll get improved CA. We get the damage bonus from here. I have to spend 1 point. I imagine trees would be the better pickup here than 1 point in Stellar Inspiration. I think trees would be the better pickup. You still get... They still do... I think they still do some damage. Not for the jailer. There's nothing to interrupt on the jailer, right, Mike? I'm thinking of, like, what would I build... What would my loadout be for the jailer? I don't think there's anything to interrupt on the jailer. So you could skip solar beam in that case. In which case you could do trees while on the move. You could throw trees down. You're generating astral power as you move. I mean, Warrior of Elune is good. I mean, it'd be a balance question as which one does more. Because Warrior of Elune is, on paper, seems better, but it's 3 global cooldowns. Trees is 1 GCD, and you're back to your normal rotation. So we'll just go trees for now. Okay. So... Oh, Twin Moons is over here now, or Stellar Flare. So it'd be Stellar Flare in this case. I do want to come over here, though, to get Convoke. Fear of the Skies. Moonfire increases your arcane damage to the target, and Sunfire increases your nature damage by 2%. Oh, these are horrible talents, Blizzard. Ew, gross. Fucking gross. Alright, Convoke. Improved Incarnation and Convoke. Shifting out of Incarnation before it expires ends the effect and refunds a portion of its cooldown. Convoke the Spirits has an increased chance to use an exceptional spell or ability. Okay, we'll go with that. Assuming it's good. I'm obviously basing this on it will be a good spell. How many have we got left? 5. We've got 5 points left. Oh, New Moon's over here. What's this? Orbi. Every 30th shooting star calls down full moon. And this grants passive CA. Yeah, what you could do, apparently, is you can have multiple loadouts. Which is going to be interesting from a guide maker perspective, because it's really a case of, well, this build doesn't work at all in Mythic Plus. Just letting you know, this build doesn't work at all in Mythic Plus. This build doesn't work at all if you need to actually help with the interrupt rotation. It really, it will be a case of like, oh, what talent should I take for balance? It'll be like, I don't know. What are you trying to do? So it'll be a lot of people messing with loadouts and stuff. So we'll go, we have to, kind of have to take Solstice here. Take this. Take that. That leaves us with 1 point. So we do miss out on New Moon here. So I guess we pick up Blessing of Anshe. Star Sword and Starfall now have a 20% chance to empower Eclipse or extend Moonfire. That's a good thing. Missed it. Yeah, some people are going to hate this. I actually don't mind too much. You're definitely gaining a couple of things and losing a couple of things. So it needs to be a balanced look. Because you could definitely side by side and say, well, I always just had Solar Beam. Now I don't. That's actually okay. Right? That's actually okay on certain fights. Like, I think the Jailer would look something like this. It's not perfect. I'm working through this for the first time I've seen it, but something like that. What would I get over here then? All right. So I've got 31 points to spend over here. Like, improved Bark Skin is a must-have for that fight. So we pick up Frenzied Rejuve, and we pick up improved Bark Skin. And probably improve Frenzied Regen as well. Frenzied Regen and Bark Skin increase all healing received by 20%. You don't necessarily need that. Bark Skin is broken as fuck as it is, but it is what it is. So let's move down the Moonkin side a little bit. Moonkin increasing the damage of your spells by 10% and your armor by 20%, and granting protection from polymorph effects. The active shape-shifting frees you. So you do not have Moonkin form over here? That's curious. Okay, so I mean, obviously we take up Moonkin form. We need to spend 3 more points on this side. My gut instinct is to go with Rejuve Swiftmend. What's this? Increase healing and damage. Oh god, healing and magic damage dealt increased by 246%. I mean, sorry. Okay, we can't get it. It is what it is. Can you heal the raid? No. Because Wild Growth's down here as well. Can you throw out... So, I mean, how crucial were the Moonkins in doing off-healing on some of the fights we saw in the Race to World First? But, I mean... Talk to Blizzard. Don't talk to me. There's just no way I can get it. Can't you respec? Absolutely not. I can't get Swiftmend or whatever. Okay, anyway. So that unlocks the next row for us, which we can get. We're kind of dicked on the feral side of the tree, which is not to be unexpected. We can come back to it, not until down here, actually. Healing done and healing taken increased by 6%. Feral and Guardian, increase the range of all your abilities by 1 to 3 yards, 2 rank talent. Restoration and Balance, increase the range of all your abilities by 3 to 5 yards. Oh god, you don't have Sunfire until here. Whoa! I got Stellar Flare before I had Sunfire. What the fuck? What? That's nuts! Okay, so I mean, duh, we need Sunfire. So you have to take Astron for us to get Sunfire. And if you want it to... Okay, this is cool as well, though. So if you want the AoE effect of Sunfire, which, again, you can argue for sure this was baked in last time. But if you don't want it, it does give you the option to pick something else up if it's a single target fight. In which case, ours is, because we're building a Jailer setup. So we don't want improved Sunfire. Okay. I need to spend 9 more points. God, I don't know what I want here. Ugh. Okay, so we go back to beginning then. And we do pick up Rejuve and Swiftmend. Alright. Dispel is there. So we probably go here and here. We're not going to use Cyclone. We're not going to use Hibernate. We're not going to use Typhoon, I don't think. No, not using Typhoon. Which then gives us Wild Growth. Okay, so we still have our healing. That's fine. We can't go into the next section yet until we spend 3 more points in this area. So I would probably go Soothe, even though I don't want it. But I do get Stampeding Roar that way. Oh, Feline Swiftness is over there. That's a bummer. Yeah. Okay, so that's. I mean, that look. I would imagine this is 90% the atypical. If this talent tree stays the same, I imagine this is 90% what the balance druids are going to look like. The only change will be improved Sunfire. And you could probably, you can drop improved Frenzied Rejuve to get improved Sunfire. Alright, so we're down here now. Which gives us Ursul's or Mass Entanglement. Innovate. Nature's Vigil. Well, these are all for poor people. I imagine most raiders, you're not going to take Typhoon and Cyclone for... raiding. If we're doing a Mythic Plus build, it'd look totally different. Okay. So Heart of the Wild is here, which is very, very strong in a lot of occasions. 4 seconds of free, but you're not going to power shift anymore. At least not as a Moonkin. You gain 3% of a stat based on your current form.
22 months now. Cheers for many more tongue.
Hey, brother. So improved Stampeding ROM is... This is more utility stuff. Okay. Rejuve duration. Renewal instantly heals you. Renewal's good. I kind of think I'm going down here. Getting more mastery. More mastery, more DPS. Improved Stampeding Raw. How many have we got left? 7 points. Okay. Tough. I think you want Heart of the Wild sometimes. Renewal's always nice to have, though. So what you can do is you can go back to the beginning if you wanted to. 1, 2. We can get movement speed, actually. 15% more movement speed is over here. That's good. Iron Fur, you're not going to use for the... This is like... I'm building what I would use as like my Jailer build. I guess. I mean, there's some definite like... Should you go left or right? It depends on the damage spell. Innovate is for poor people, though. I think healers should just learn to manage their own mana. It doesn't help me personally, which I have a huge problem with. Honestly, no. Like, even at the highest end, healers stopped asking me for Innovate. Even on the... It depends on the fight. Like, genuinely speaking, Innovate is something you might pick up, but you might not. Like, it's not like Innovate is always used. It just isn't. It depends on your healers and how badly other people are playing. It's kind of like Final Fantasy XIV, right? If your players are playing badly, then Innovate's a must because your healers are stressed to fuck. But if everyone's playing well... There were times I was innovating people just because I had it and nobody wanted it. Like, that happened all the time at, like, the highest end mythic progression. Like, it's just, they just don't need it. But, for the sake of it, you can pick up Innovate there. So, something like that. Stellar Flare. We've got all 3 dots. We haven't got Eclipse. Instead, we've gone with Convoke, which would change things. We've picked up the improved CA, so we've got 25 seconds of CA instead of the 30 seconds Incarn, but we've picked up Convoke to go with that. Alongside that, we've got Orbit Breaker. And you can't wait for PI bullshit on the Shadow Priest? Yeah, maybe. What do we want to have? We've got Resto? Sure. Where's the reset button? Just reload the page? Or what? Resto. Okay, so they start off with Life Bloom. Okay, oh, they have a couple of musts, interestingly enough. Oh, I already filled those in. Created by default when selecting balance. Oh, it's because I changed the tree. Okay. Alright, so F-Flow is over there, of course. Improved Life. Life Bloom is now treated as 1 to 2 additional restoration heal over time effects from Mastery Harmony. That's good. Nature's Swiftness, cooldown. Alright, Omen's over here. You definitely want Ironbark. Improved Ironbark. Exactly what I dreaded these talents would be. It's just duration stuff. Drink Jizz. Regrowth initial heal has 5% increased crit effects. They already have regrowth on. Okay, so if you need to spam heal, so that's your single target side. This would be your raid healing side. You probably do want this. Stoppable growth is always good. Trank is here. Is Trank ever worth casting? Would be the question. Oh, Nourish is back! Hmm. Interesting. Oh, you're immune to knockbacks. You can't run cast this yet. Okay, that would have been nice. So you choose between Snarian Ward and Abundance, Spring Blossoms and Overgrowth. Memory of the Mother Tree. Wild Growth has a 40% chance to cause your next Rejuve or Regrow to apply to 3 additional allies within 20 yards of the target. Invigorate. Your heal over time effects on the target complete their healing 100% faster. 45-second cooldown. They still got... Flourish is there. Yeah, okay. Teldrassil, Pepe Hands. The Dark Titan's Blessing. You may life bloom 2 targets at once. Okay. What was that originally called? It's called something else. It wasn't called the Dark Titan's Blessing. Tree Form, a good call. I assume it's just the Incarnation Tree of Life. Yeah, like Tree Form's been a passive for a while. You haven't had to go into Tree Form for a long time. You can still do it, but you don't. It's not a talent anymore, or like a form you need to go into. Ephemeral Incarnation. Every 3 casts of Swiftman grants you Incarnation for 9 seconds. Vision and Growth. Rejuvenation Healing has a 2% chance to create a new Rejuve on a nearby target. Yeah, if you want the cooldown, that's for the big tree, though. There's 2 trees. You've got the small tree and then big tree. This is big tree. Small tree is just a shapeshift form you can skip into. Adaptive Swarm is over here. What was the other druid stuff? Oh, it was more Guardian stuff. Small tree is for dancing. True. Getting jiggy with it. I do like that there's some very definitive builds, like even from this early stage, that you can build that's very defined for purpose. I hope people don't hate this, because so many people just want, what is my DPS talent tree? And the answer is going to be, well, there's like 4 or 5. That's the way. That's got to be the answer. Is like there isn't just like this is the talents. There's like 4 or 5 different ones that you go with, and a lot of different play styles that go with them, which should ideally make people's characters more interesting. Ideally, it should make your character more interesting, because sometimes your life bloom will be one thing. Sometimes you can have multiple life blooms up. Sometimes your wild growth will run out really quickly. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you won't even have wild growth because you just don't need it because you're spamming the tank. But I imagine you're taking wild growth all the time regardless. I love overgrowth. It's such a good emergency heal. So good. Let me have a quick look at Guardian. Resto, no, go away. Bounce. Okay, so Guardian gives you Frenzy by default and Thrash. Okay. Trash. You get Trash by default. That's one thing I would definitely agree with what Nero said. There is nothing new. So far, I've not seen anything new. There's nothing new. There's just a lot more choices to make within the same thing. But they're still the same things. There's nothing new in here. So, Maul. I mean, I still recognize every single ability here. It's like it's the same ingredients mixed in a different way. But it definitely creates a lot of more varied builds. This might make a lot of builds a little simpler for people to play because they won't have as much button bloat because they simply don't have those spells. So that might help out a lot of people as well. Oh, okay, I see. Yes, there's 1 or 2 spells that are named something. Okay, so there's Ziggy. Okay, out of the 50 or 60 talents on here, yes, there's 1 or 2 new things. I apologize. Let's just say that 99% of it is exactly the same stuff we've had before. Let's agree on that. So there is technically, actually, there is something new in there. But most of the stuff is, you'll end up with like a combination of less and... You should have, I mean, that's what I think is going to be exciting for a lot of players, is there'll be just less stuff that they don't really know how to use. Or don't use a lot. But that could also lead to, the side effect of that is, certain times when, like, Control Undead. Most people don't use Control Undead. So you'd often find, like, oh, you go into a dungeon, you see the Blood DK Control Undead, and you're like, oh shit, you can make that guy your friend and all that kind of stuff, which you just won't have the ability to do because it's over here now. It's not a talent that you picked up. So you will have those occasions as well, but they'll be few and far between. Not bad. As I said, Dragonflight for me still feels like the good foundation of the game. I haven't seen anything yet that's like, that's going to be sick, and I can't wait to play that. That's the only thing I've not seen. It seems like a really good foundation. Check Unholy, sure. So we've got Festering, Improved Raised Dead, duh. Scourge Strike, yeah. Sudden Doom. Outbreak is over here. The Festering Pops generates additional 3 Runic. Festering Strikes damage increased by 30%, 3 rank talent. Festering Strikes a 20% chance of applying 1-3 additional Festering Wounds. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, go the zits. Causes each of your virulent plagues to flare up. Yeah. They baked an epidemic in after a while, didn't they? I'm feeling Bursting Swords is there. A lot of it seems like single target versus AoE in some respects. We've got Blight there, Apocalypse is there. What's your end ones? Army of the Damned, Unholy Assault and Gargoyle? Okay. Wonder if they'll ever fix Gargoyle. I think you still have to kind of run away a few yards before you cast that thing. Haha, no. No. There's
Hi,
nothing
Preach,
worse
what
than
is
when
your
you're doing a
opinion on
really good
FF9?
pull
I'm a
and
bit
you forget
behind
to
on
do it and your
VDs.
fucking gargoyle's meleeing the enemy and you're just like, oh, bro. Oh, bro, you're ripping my heart out and you're shitting down my neck, dude. Please stop. Please stop. Please fucking start shooting at it. Festamite. The power of the Festamite leading to so much cheese. Any Festamiters? Any Festamite snapshotters around? Woohoo! So, Abomination's Limb, Power Rune Weapon, and Soul Reaper on the other side. I'm more curious about this side of the trees. These make some really interesting choices. So we don't have to take that, and we don't have to take that. Okay. So that's default. So the only default you get on this side is Raise Dead, because you need the ghoul. Okie dokie. So from that we get Improved Death and Decay. Scourge Strike hits 5 additional enemies while you remain in Death and Decay. Yum, yum, yum. Gotta pop those zits, baby. 5% haste is in Unholy Ground. Let's see if this is anything like the Blood one, where we ended up picking up a lot from the early tree. Because right now we don't have AMS, which we'll want. For sure. As always. We don't have Icebound either. And I believe they're going to make the talent tree swapping free. Probably in cities, right? You can just swap between them. Okay, so Brittle. Oh god, yeah, Interrupt's over there as well. Which kind of makes you want to... If you... Well, I mean, this is the question, right? Are you going to be interrupting? Again, you think about the jailer, then you're not interrupting. What are you missing out there? You're missing out on Icebound? Lol, no. Oh, but then you don't get... Ooh, what have we got over here? Oh, but then you don't get Runic Corruption or Runic Empowerment. Yeah, kind of feels like you do kind of need to go over there, dudes. Can't interrupt build is DPS loss, correct, Ross? Correct. So these are kind of must-haves. What's down here? 4% strength. Feeble. Which care. Death's Reach and Grip of the Dead, don't care. For DPS, obviously. Control of the Dead, don't care. Lichborn, don't care. Unless you get CC'd in the fight, obviously. And Holy Bond. Increase the effectiveness of your Runeforge effects by 30%. Death's Echo, which gives the extra charges. Yeah. Soul Reaper's over here. And I wonder if this is what will change here. I wonder if they'll move this down a row so you can get to Soul Reaper if you come down this side of the tree. Because it doesn't feel like you... I feel like you take on Holy Ground. Assuming you're going to be using Death and Decay. Avoidance and Leech. So, or Avoidance or whatever. Get the crit from here. We haven't picked up AMZ yet. Hopefully our raid leader doesn't ask for it. Runic Corruption. Yeah, you can't come across from a different way to get to your endpoint. Huh. But all the DPS stuff feels like it's over here. So we have to take Acclamation. We need to spend 8 more points. So this is where we might be friendly to our raid leaders. But I think realistically, we're going to get Wraith Walk. Frosted Holy, get more stamina through there. Yeah, Myothoracian is over here. So let's get those 2, because we did that because we got Brittle. We still need to spend 5 more. Are we living in a world where we're not going to take AMZ, even though Max killed it? I'm not going to nerf AMZ again. Max killed it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. See, I always like Death Pact, but I feel like you're going to get AMZ. It's useful in just so many occasions to do something. Kind of.
Kippo mate.
Is it really, though? Yeah, it does do something. It does do something. Alright, we've got 11 points. So, 2 runes are generating 25 runic power. Horn of Winter, yes. Attack speed, yes. Auto attacks generate 5 runic power. Oh, we can't get Abomination's Limb without going through improved Death Strike. Gross. 6% more strength with Rune Mastery. 6 points left. Oh, this works, right? We got 1 point? Yeah! Something like that, right? The only thing we're missing out on there is Soul Reaper. But we're getting Power Rune Weapon and Abomination's Limb. Yeah, no Soul Reaper, but you have to pick up quite a bit of shit to get there. That's the only problem I see with Soul Reaper, is you have to come from this side. You can't, because you can't work backwards. You'd have to put a point into Enfeeble, which is Dog. Grip or Death's Reach, which is Dog. Control Undead, Lichborn. Then you do get the benefit of your Runeforge effect. So you need to spend a couple of points over here to then get over there. So what you could do is drop Abomination's Limb, if you were like, whatever's technically better, I suppose. And come around this way. Oh no, we haven't got enough points. Fucker. I mean, Death Strike is not that useful, especially in late game prog when everybody's getting battered to the floor. Death Strike will save your ass on regular occasions. Drop AMZ. We need 1 more point from somewhere. It depends how good Rune Mastery is. Yeah, you could do it that way. You still keep AMZ, but you don't have improved anti-magic shell. You could go that way. Yeah, I mean, anti-magic barrier is really good in high-end raiding, though. It just feels so much more comfy. At least I know when I mained DK. It felt so good. But there's no point in us dropping AMZ unless we were going to move to, like, picking up Leech. Because we need the point to be in this part of the tree. But, I mean, Sacrificial Pact. Unholy Ground would be something you pick up if you're doing AoE, but you wouldn't take this build if you were doing AoE anyway. Drop Wraithwalk? Hooligan. Hooligan. We have everything here. The only thing we're missing is Barrier. It'll depend on balancing as to whether it's worth a talent point, right? A lot of this is, because it's all percentages and stuff, it's going to come down to math ultimately for some of this stuff. Like on a general day-to-day, the idea would be, it's like, when was the last time we used Death and Decay single target? Hatter? Oh, you prefer Death's Echo? Well, we don't have Death's Advance right now, so if we drop Wraithwalk, we don't have Death's Advance or Wraithwalk. So that's a 2-point switch. If you put that in there. Drop Avoidance. God, Don't tell your raid leaders, dudes. You're going to get in some trouble. 3% avoidance is really good. Shh. I'm not sure I'd prefer that. Yeah, shh. Just don't get hit by the unavoidable damage. Embrace the wheelchair. I think I'd prefer, I mean, are there any fights where it comes down to practicality, right? On the nature of the fight. Are there any fights where you aren't using a gateway, where you need short-term double run speeds, where you're that far away? Not usually. It can happen, but not really. This gives us what? 2 charges of death. We do have death grip though as standard, right? Death grip's not a talent? Shit, I never checked that. Is it? Can't see it. No, this is just death's reach. Increases the range. Yeah, I'm not seeing death grip as a talent. Okay, that's good. Yeah, if you look at something like Zymox, where you could just death advance, you know, every sort of pull-in. Yeah, there are definitely those occasions, which is what the talent tree is supposed to do. It's supposed to give you those options where you can like, oh, I could build this. This is my Zymox build where I can't get dragged in anymore. It's dope. The Jubilee is here. Yeah, it's in the gaming list. I don't know. I don't know how it found its way in there, but it's there. Praise be. Praise be, Queenie. Praise be. Interesting start, though. This is a really interesting start. Just use Shorecast. Yeah, for sure. For a first draft, this is interesting. I hope they correct that you can't... I hope they correct that you don't spec... You can't improve talents that you don't have. I would like something in the game that's like, warning. Even if it's a warning, because technically you could spend that point later like we did. That you can't, you know, like, warning, you do not have Raised Dead or access to a ghoul if you take this. Any Druid hybrid shenanigans? I don't think so. Let me have a look. Because it looks like they divide your points evenly between your main tree and your off tree. So it looks like for the most part, you'll, if you choose, say, Feral, get rid of this. Guardian. Alright, so the way it works is you get 30 points in one tree, which is your Feral tree, and then a 30 points over here. What you can't do is what I think some people might have been expecting is like 20 and more in the off tree. Like for a mage, so you could do like a 20 fire, a 25 fire and 25 frost and some arcane or something like that. You can't do that from what I can see. You get 30 points to spend in the pure Feral tree, and then they give you 31 points in the everything else that your spec can do tree. It's fun picking tiles, but the real question is, will it matter? Because it'll be, will it be balanced? My first impression is that because they're giving you legitimate spells in the trees, that balance is less of a concern here. The only time I think balance could actually really fuck this up is if there's weird times that have happened sometimes, where, like, Thrash, for some reason, with some build, like, outscales Starfire or something like that. So you could do without it, you know? So, like, as a Feral Druid here, this is Feral. So I can choose Starfire, Star Surge, Moonkin Form, shit like that. And you get some really weird stuff happening. But they've broken a lot of it down into, like, AoE and single target stuff, in which case balance is less of a concern within the spec itself. That's more of a concern versus other specs. Because what the talent trees will never solve is like, oh, you can choose the best AoE talent build in the world, but Feral Druids do, like, negative damage, in which case it doesn't fucking matter how long you spend here tickling your prickle about which talents you choose. It won't matter because they just don't do any damage. Compared to, like, Giga Chad Shadow Priests or swole as fuck Warlocks. So that's where the balance will come in. There are a couple of choices here which will be balance related, but nothing mega, I don't think. Check out Berserk. Is it fear immune again? That would be nice. Where are you, Berserkers? It'll be over here. Berserk Relentlessness. Go Berserk for 20 seconds, giving finishing points a 20% chance per combo point spent to refund the combo points. Combines with other Berserk abilities, granting all known Berserk effects at once. Huh? Oh! Ooh, I see. You pick up different levels of Berserk. Berserk Jungle Stalker. Go Berserk for 20. This is new. This is nice. Causing Rake and Shred to deal damage as though they were stealth and allowing... Okay, so here's stuff we've had before. It's just got a different name. The use of Prowl once while in combat. Combines with other Berserk abilities, granting all of them at once. And Berserk Frenzy. Go Berserk for 20 seconds, causing your combo point generating abilities to bleed the target for an additional 150% of their damage over 8 seconds. Combines with other Berserk abilities, granting all known Berserk effects while active. Passive combo point generating abilities reduce the cooldown of Berserk by 0.3 seconds. All Berserks putting the Avatar of Ashimi. An improved cat form that grants all of your known Berserk effects and reduces the energy cost of all cat form abilities by 20%. Last 30 seconds, you may shapeshift. That'll give you different Berserk rotations. That's kind of interesting. Can you get them both? Is it some sort of scam? So we need Tiger's Fury first. Improved. We want Omen. Let's assume we're straight single targeting. I think they still throw Thrash in though, don't they? Just to put the bleed up. Each enemy hit by... Oh, that doesn't matter. Okay. Energy increase. Sabertooth the Predator. Well, for a boss, we wouldn't use Predator. Let's go with Sabertooth. So let's assume we're getting these Berserks. So we want that. Improve Shred. Yes. While stealth. Yes. So we got the first Berserk. Go spike damage as long as you got your bleeds on. Oh, Primal Wrath is there. It's more AoE focused. Is the rest of it AoE focused? Oh, that's over there now. Huh. Well, if we want Jungle Stalker, we have to go that way. Okay. What am I missing out? Moment of clarity. Oh, it accumulates charges. That's good. Just for the sake of science, let's just go this way. Bit of Cuphead. Oh, Brutal Slash is here? What? Primal Wrath is there and Brutal Slash is there? Cat Jam, baby. Cat Jam. Why they've done that? Why'd they put 2 AoE taunts either side? And you have to go through one of them. It's really strange. Okay. So Survival Instincts, got Frenzy there. These are 6 points. So we'd have to go... Ooh, it's a very restrictive build. Oh, I need that. Or... Oh, you can't get it. Oh, you can. There you go. Yeah, you would never take this build. This build is stupid. Unless this Berserk is so nuts, it trumps everything else. So you lose Blood Talons or Feral Frenzy. Mad Cat. This is just called the Berserker build. I hope it is. Yeah, I doubt it though. Yeah, this build doesn't work at all. This is terrible. This is like this is a poor person's build. Like you inspect them and you go, huh. Now, should I be toxic to this person or not? This is my build. It's very symmetrical. It's very symmetrical. You get Moment of Clarity as well. It's a nice symmetrical build. I would never judge somebody else's talent build, friends. I would never judge somebody else's talent build. I would never do that. That would be a terrible thing to do. It's a social contract concern. You signed the waiver, dude. Yeah. Okay. I like that, though, that you get, like, different levels of Berserk to go with. Somebody's going to try this build, where you just have these wacky Berserks that just, like, weave all these different abilities together. Everyone send Mike your builds. What's the worst... And that's kind of fun. What's the worst build someone could come up with? That makes, like, no sense. That you're already triggered by. Like, from day one. Done. I'm already triggered by this build. It's like using Warrior of Elune and trees, but it has no Sunfire. It's really good. I came up with it myself. It has all the improved CA talents, but it doesn't have CA. Well, Orincan. Trust me, it's sick, bro. Trust me. Oh, it's so good. Do you have the link? Yeah, it's here. And no Sunfire, no Moonkin farm, Boonkin. That can happen. You can have Moonkins with no Moonkin farm. For real. So I'm a Moonkin who has Rake and Frenzied Regen and Thrash and Rip and Maim. Swipe. Increased Armor and Fizz. You can totally do that. Look. No Moonkin farm. It's the way forward. There are some of these talents to go backwards, like the dash and I got Skull Bash. I'm really quick. You want to be the Uber interrupting Moonkin. Where was Solar? Yeah, like the Solar Flare's down here. Moonkin with Skull Bash. It's way too broke, bro. Overall, though, I'm pretty happy with this. This is all right. This is all right. How do you know all this, Azzy? Have you written this? Is this your website? Where's this come from? Who are Mythic Trap? Is this a trap? Is this just a fucking lie? Where's this information come from? Did Blizzard release this? Am I looking at... Have I been played like a goddamn fiddle? They're partnered with Echo. That doesn't mean shit. They've got Roger Brown in their team. He's a fucking clown. Can't even kill Ultimate. Trash master. There's a blue post. Hold on. What's this? Wow Thing. Character and collection management website. That sounds third party. Ah, Deathlight Talents. Okay, so it did come from a blue place. Alright, alright. Oh, there's a philosophy. Oh, shit. Hold on, I need to sit on a mountain. Oh, it's this, Hold on. I need to know the philosophy. Dragonflight contains major updates to World of Warcraft classes, centering on the reintroduction of talent trees. In this preview, we take a first look at the prototype trees for the Druid and Death Knight classes. These and all of the trees still have a lot of work to be done, but we want to share what we can to start collecting detailed feedback at this early stage. Our philosophy. Some of our biggest goals in a class and talent revamp are to increase player agency over your character's progression and build, provide meaningful rewards while leveling, and reinforce your character's connection to both their class and their spec. In addition, we felt we had to retain many features of modern WoW specializations. Specializations that have many unique abilities, some of which might be central to the identity of the spec. They have a wide variety of optional bonuses that have been created at various times over the years. This all led us back to the talent trees, a concept familiar to people who played WoW before the Mists of Pandaria expansion. Visually, the trees are still an intuitive way to represent the different paths one could follow while making many choices about a character. Trees also communicate dependencies and magnitude intuitively, without a lot of added rules. For example, talents higher in the tree are expected to be more commonly chosen, while talents lower in the tree are more optional and more geared towards shaping max level builds. Dragonflight talent trees have some significant differences from previous versions of the talent trees in WoW. First, you have not one tree, but two. This is due to the combined importance of class-wide and specialization-specific themes for current WoW characters. The class tree contains a core set of abilities available to all specs in a class and has a higher proportion of utility choices. It's a place where you can, among other things, choose some abilities or passives that draw from the identity of other specializations to give your character some hybrid flavor, or simply to grab something particularly useful for certain content. The specialization tree is predominantly focused on bonuses that enhance your power in your main role. Keeping these separate is one way of ensuring that you have some choices in both areas without, for example, feeling compelled to give up all your utility or off-spec buttons in order to maximize main role performance. Another fundamental change is that much more of your class is represented in the tree. Instead of being awarded automatically while leveling up, other than the starting abilities you obtain before you access the system at level 10, the vast majority of abilities are obtained via the tree. This gives rise to some of the most important questions and challenges of the new system. Exploring a world where many other things are optional has a lot of advantages, but requires a lot of care. Here are just some answers to questions and answers that we know you might be wondering about. Some abilities are critical to my rotation. Will that mean I always have to build a certain way? No. The most basic building blocks of your rotation will tend to be either learned from levels 1 to 10, awarded automatically in the class tree, or placed at the top of your spec tree as a first point spent in that tree. In other cases, major abilities that we expect to be part of most builds will be near the start of a tree, or an easily accessible path so they don't constrain your other choices. A certain piece of utility is important in certain content. For example, interrupts in Mythic Plus. Does this limit my choices? Blizzard, please! Similarly, the more likely something is to be all but required for some players, the more we must place it in the tree in an appropriate location. One that still leaves the rest of your build choices very open. Does this mean it's possible to make very bad builds? Yes, my friend, yes. There are limits and guardrails here, such as those abilities that are automatically given. And furthermore, our goal in designing the trees is not to trap players in complicated choices in order to make a functional build. In fact, it's the opposite. It's to set up the trees with intuitive paths that lead you to reasonable builds. But a key philosophy of this rework is to keep the player in the driver's seat of their character's growth within their class. Does this mean that some of my points are spent on somewhat obvious choices and aren't likely to be moved? Yes. Yes. 61 points is drastically more than the 7 that players currently have in Shadowlands. And it would probably be a mistake if all 61 points were always heavily in play. This is part of how we maintain the balance alluded to above, where it's not overwhelming, friend, to make and analyze builds. The tree contains a spectrum of more basic abilities all the way to comparatively advanced ones. And one of the advantages of this system is letting you, the player, draw that line. Doesn't this all mean that I will use some of my points to rebuy some things that were baseline in Shadowlands? Yes! Yes, brother! For all of those reasons mentioned above, making a huge swathe of abilities open to player decision-making requires this. We hear this feedback as primarily a concern about having less stuff than you had in Shadowlands. After starting with your basic class and spending 61 points in a tree, you will feel pruned. Openly, our goal is that you don't. We'll be watching for feedback on this. Our goal is for a Dragonflight character to feel that it has a similar amount of power and complexity, which can be hard to quantify as a Shadowlands character. The main difference is you getting to choose which active buttons and passive bonuses make up that toolset, and potentially having combinations that were previously impossible. Another set of questions is around what abilities are still awarded automatically outside of the tree. There are a few broad categories. Abilities learned before 10, the most basic elements of what starts to make you into your class. Moonfire, Deathstrike. Buttons whose impact is primarily non-combat and non-power related. Teleport, Moonglade, Path of Frost, Revive. Non-stacking group buffs or spells where a group virtually always wants exactly one person with that ability. Raise Ally, Rebirth, and Mark of the Wild. There are lots of case-by-case calls to be made around all of this, but by and large we are pushing ourselves to leave it to players to explore in the trees how to build out their class from levels 10 to 70. Some nuts and bolts, my friends. The experience of using the tree will be more intuitive when you play with the system in game. We want to provide some explanation here for those who want to analyze the current draft trees in detail. Please bear in mind, these are all subject to change. Your first class tree point is awarded at level 10 and your first specialization tree point at level 11, alternating between the two from there. At level 70 you will have 31 available class points and 30 specialization points. Certain basic abilities in the class tree are given automatically to people of particular specializations. These do not cost any points. Most talents have prerequisites. These will be indicated by arrows in the final UI. If a talent has any arrows leading to it, you must have fully purchased at least one of those previous talents to access it. For clarity, arrows always point downwards or diagonally downwards in current drafts. Every tree has certain rows that you can't advance past until you've spent a certain number of talent points, unlike pre-mop. This is not the case. What? Oh, I'll come and see it in a sec. This is not the case. Are you happy? You tested some lighting? Okay. Okay. This is not the case for every row. In the prototype Druid and Death Knight trees, you cannot buy talents in the 5th row and beyond until you've spent 8 points in the tree. You cannot buy talents. So that's what we saw. In octagonal choice nodes, you may have the choice of 2 things at a time. So far, this looks alright, man. This looks pretty good. That is a pretty good start. We need to see all the other classes, but so far, this looks fine and dandy. Actually, don't mind it. Actually, don't mind it. Some cool choices in here. Actually, not bad. Yeah, everybody's going to be waiting for their class to see what's in. Yeah, so far, this looks fine. There's some really interesting choices in here. Check Twitter. Bex has done a thing. She's always done a thing. Oh, God. Rate my blood spec. What do you mean I did a thing? I'm not even working. You're not supposed to be working. You're not being paid. Oh, here's... oh, I'm sure Raven's done a really good one. Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is really good, Raven. This is fantastic, actually. This is a good tree. This is... Your raid leaders will be very happy with this. Very happy. For the permafrost blinding. Raven, did he use shot? I'm going faster than AMZ. I'm winning. I'm winning non-stop. Benched? Yeah, indeed. Okay, just stop sending me your fake talent trees. Stop. Stop. Stop it. Oh, I don't want to see everybody's fake talent trees. Make your own. I think people feel happier with a talent tree. Although you kind of get the same thing out of it from what we've seen from just Druid and Death Knight. You kind of get the same thing out of it as you did previously, but people like a talent tree. People do love putting choices in. I think we'll need... How many? Have they said how many different loadouts they're allowing? I can't remember the original screenshot. I think it had room for like as many as you wanted. Right? I don't think there was a limit on it. Is it infinite? Yeah, I think it was infinite. I think it was as many as you wanted. Pretty much a lot. I don't think World of Warcraft could ever be a game without talent trees. I mean, it could. There's never say never, but I don't think it would work for WoW. WoW is so much more combat focused. I think it's unwise to go to even suggest that. More loadout pages are available in the shop. There's actually a tie-in. If you spend $100 or more in Diablo Immortal, you get a bigger backpack in WoW. Go on, you wouldn't. You fucking pussy. You wouldn't. Go on, you coward. Shall we go and see our logo? Shit. We've just had our logo put on.